Every heartbeat could be your last as a nightmare stalks the night, striking in split second. In the near future, where London is flooded as a result of global warming, a maverick detective named Harley Stone hunts down a serial killer who murdered his partner, but soon he discovers that the killer might not be human. The film isn't exactly sure what it's aiming for, trying to do a little bit of everything, like we have a neo-noir, cyberpunk, sci-fi, horror, action, buddy cop film with a less talkative, venom-like creature that never reveals its origin or motives. They even squeeze in some occult elements, but these are never explained or expanded on. Aside from its cheesy dialogue and lack of character and story development, the film shows some potential in the design of its monster, but it's inconsistent throughout the movie. Like early on, it uses guns like the Predator, but by the end it behaves more like the creatures in Alien. Probably the only notable thing about this film is Rutger Hauer, who plays the lone wolf, burnt-out detective as well as always. We also have Kim Cattrall and Alistair Duncan. Split Second has many flaws and shortcomings. They had some good ideas with the story and the monster, but not the right execution. Except for the memorable performance of Rutger Hauer, nothing really falls into place, but the film still does its job of being entertaining.
Where is he? Please, don't shoot. No more, please.
Teach you to me, fucking cyborgs.
In the heart of a city that beats with the cold rhythm of machinery, the fusion of flesh and metal breeds a new power as one man's mission becomes a fight not just for survival, but for the soul of mankind in Nemesis. Alex Rain, a former LA cyborg cop who once hunted dangerous cyborg criminals, receives a final mission to track down an old colleague who has stolen sensitive data. But as Alex uncovers a deeper conspiracy, he becomes determined to find the truth, no matter the cost. From director Albert Pune, if you are familiar with his movies, you know he may lack budget but not talent. As for the film, it's clearly influenced by the better movies of the genre like Blade Runner and The Terminator, and it does have everything you expect from a B movie, but there is one area where the film exceeds its grade, and that's the action scenes. With all the bullets flying and bodies dropping, we get some great and creative action sequences. Even that iconic moment in Underworld where Kate Beckinsale shoots down through the floor was likely inspired by a similar scene in Nemesis. When the fight for survival pushes the limits of humanity, it pays to be more than human.
I love this town.
A dark angel descends from the stars, promising peace but delivering terror, and only one man can stand against this unimaginable threat. Enter Jack Kane, a rebellious cop fixated on taking down a dangerous gang of drug traffickers. But as he investigates a series of strange murders, he uncovers a far more dangerous threat as a mysterious third party gets involved. As a 90s sci-fi thriller B-movie with a high cheese factor, this film has a lot going for it. Beyond the action-packed scenes and some good one-liners, it's the perfect recipe for Dolph Lundgren to shine as a badass cop. And of course, we also have the Space Witcher going hard Terminator style. Written by Jonathan Tyder and David Koepp, Dark Angel may be a B-movie, but despite its predictable plot, it is surprisingly solid. This film is one of Koepp's earliest works before he went on to pen blockbusters like Jurassic Park. If you ever had a close encounter with Jack Kane, it's probably your last.
I come in peace.
And you go in pieces, asshole.
Captain Benway here. To the right of the aircraft, you can see a terrific view of the Grand Canyon. And to the left, you can see a panic-stricken little troll.
You gonna eat your peanuts, Ernie?
Nah, you can have it.
Thanks.
Hey, I'm okay.
On the outskirts of civilization, a madman's carnival of horrors twists the fabric of nature itself as one man's fall from grace spirals into a nightmare beyond imagination in Freaked. After former child star Ricky Coogan is hired to promote a harmful chemical for an unethical corporation, he and his friends, while traveling in South America, end up in a freak show run by a mad scientist who transforms them into grotesque sideshow attractions. The film is the very definition of cheesiness, over the top and cringeworthy at the same time, but funny as hell. It doesn't offer much of a story, as it's a non-stop barrage of gags that only get crazier as the plot progresses. They packed some brilliantly crazy ideas into the film, like a computer mouse that's just a real mouse. John Wick transforms into his beloved friend.
I am Ortiz, the dog boy.
A TARDIS from Doctor Who, and even walking gangster eyes.
Body move, nobody get hurt.
And these barely scratch the surface of the film's weirdness. We get a Bill and Ted reunion with Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves, though it's far less excellent in the adventure department. Add in Randy Quaid as a mad scientist, and also a cameo from Brooke Shields. It's a weird, dark comedy with so many idiotic yet brilliant ideas that it ends up being better than you'd expect. The true danger lies not in what is seen, but in what is heard beneath the surface, as the last scream you hear will be your own. On a distant mining planet, a decade-long war between two human factions escalates when one side creates self-replicating killing machines known as screamers, tipping the scales of conflict dangerously as these machines turn on their creators. The story is based on Philip K. Dick's short story Second Variety, but it doesn't quite live up to other adaptations of his work.
We thought we discovered gold. Discovered shit.
It's fairly straightforward, with the protagonist traveling through an apocalyptic, gritty wasteland to complete his mission as the mystery and paranoia kick in. There's a good amount of suspense and tension throughout the movie, but it doesn't fully pay off due to a lackluster ending. It's a low-budget sci-fi with a lot of potential that doesn't escape the cliches of the genre. Despite the limited budget, it's still pretty impressive what they achieved with minimalist production values. The film doesn't really flesh out its characters enough for us to care about any of them, though Peter Weller is very good with what he had to work with and stands out from the rest of the cast.
Gunnery school. Everybody called me Ace.
Everybody here calls me Sir.
Perhaps no one can hear you scream in space, but the horror of the screamers manages to find you, no matter where you are. As the fire in the sky cuts through the darkness, a moment of wonder becomes a harrowing encounter with a terror beyond this world, and what was seen can never be unseen. After a group of loggers driving home spots a mysterious light in the sky, one of them wanders toward it, while the others rush back to town in a state of terror and shock, telling a story that no one, not even their families, believes, but when they return, they realize he has disappeared. Based on a book about an alleged alien abduction, the film could easily be an episode of The X-Files, just without Mulder and Scully on the case. It has great build-up at the beginning, but they didn't capitalize on the suspense. Instead, we get a melodrama that drags for the most part, rather than focusing on the thrilling aspects of the story. But the film eventually redeems itself with a great and terrifying alien abduction scene, just not enough to become a great sci-fi horror film. Before his time on The X-Files, Robert Patrick encounters aliens alongside D.B. Sweeney, Henry Thomas, and Peter Berg. The film's only saving grace is that it has one of the best alien abduction scenes in cinema, but without that, there isn't much else to offer.
They're out there. They're everywhere. They get you when you sleep. They get you when you sleep, you hear?
As an unseen horror begins to plant its seeds, mankind's greatest fear grows from it, a truth so terrifying that once revealed, you'll never close your eyes again. A teenage girl named Marty and her family move to a remote military base after her father is assigned to check for contaminants, only to notice the residents acting strangely as the unsettling truth slowly comes to light. The film is loosely based on The Body Snatchers by Jack Finney and could serve as a great standalone sci-fi horror movie, but as a remake it doesn't measure up to the previous adaptations. The story drags a bit and the characters aren't really all that interesting to root for, but it has a great setting that director Ferrara uses well to create some intense horror scenes, showing the body snatching in a more stylish way compared to previous films. The performances are solid across the board, but it's Meg Tilly's terrifying monologue that takes the film to another level.
Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna run?
The cast also includes Gabrielle Anwar, Terry Kinney, Christine Elise, Arlie Ermy, and Forrest Whitaker. When the faces of those we trust no longer reflect the souls we once knew, the greatest battle becomes holding on to what makes us human in a world slowly slipping away.
Night-night.
A warrior discarded by time and his own kind, cast out onto a barren wasteland, awakens to find that his greatest battle has only just begun in Soldier. In a dystopian future, children are taken from birth and trained to be ruthless soldiers devoid of emotion and empathy. Todd, a veteran of this program, is cast aside when a new generation of superior soldiers renders him obsolete, and he is abandoned on a remote waste planet. From the good old 90s, when Paul W.S. Anderson was still making some decent movies, Soldier is exactly what it sets out to be, a cheesy, action-packed sci-fi film with Kurt Russell being pure badass that doesn't fail to entertain.
I'm going to kill them all, sir.
There are some references suggesting that Soldier could exist in the same universe as Blade Runner, as both films were written by David Webb Peoples. For example, our protagonist, Todd, is said to have fought in the Battle of Shoulder of Orion and at Tannhauser Gate, events that Rutger Hauer's character famously mentions in his Tears in Rain monologue in Blade Runner.
Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion.
Besides Kurt Russell nailing both his performance and the action, we also have a lot of familiar faces, including Jason Isaacs, Connie Nielsen, Sean Pertwee, Gary Busey, and Michael Chiklis. Soldier is way better than it looks.
What exactly does that crap mean in English?
It may not be absolute cinema, but it's absolutely fun to watch.
Hey! You stop, asshole! Grab my hand! I'm not doing my man!
In the strange days of a dying millennium, memories become addictive glimpses into lives never lived, and the past is no longer just remembered, but relived all over again. A former cop named Lenny, now dealing in underground virtual reality tapes that let users experience other people's memories and sensations, comes across a recording of a brutal murder, and as he searches for the killer, finds himself pulled into a much larger conspiracy. When it comes to stylish directors, Catherine Bigelow definitely makes the cut. Add in James Cameron writing and the best lead actor you could ask for.
I'm the magic man.
And we're now cooking up a film with both style and substance. The film for sure has the director's signature, with lots of violence, disturbing scenes, and some really impressive cinematography, especially in the point-of-view shots. But the biggest letdown is the Hollywood-style ending, which kind of ruins all the great build-up leading to it. Ray Fiennes is fantastic, and Angela Bassett completely owns her role, while the rest of the cast, Juliette Lewis, Tom Sizemore, Michael Wincott, William Fichtner, and Vincent D'Onofrio, do a solid job rounding it out. Even if the ending doesn't quite stick the landing, it's still a stylish and smart sci-fi flick that's aged like a fine wine.
The end of the world.
As the waning days of the century draw to a close, a restless soul chases stolen dreams across the earth, while a dream we dream together becomes a reality that carries us until the end of the world. Set in the near future, with a nuclear satellite poised to crash to Earth and bring about the end of civilization, a woman named Claire meets a mysterious man named Trevor during a road trip. After a brief but intense connection, Trevor disappears without a trace, prompting Claire to go to any lengths to find him. The best way to describe this movie is that it's mesmerizing from start to finish. They could show the whole thing without any dialogue and it'd still be great, and that's thanks to Wim Wenders, the king of road movies, who works his magic to create a beautiful love story that takes us all the way to the end of the world. The film tells its story over almost 5 hours and is split into 2 parts, with the first focusing on the journey and romance, and the second mostly on the sci-fi elements, making each part feel like a complete movie on its own. The cast is packed with talent. We have William Hurt, Solveig de Martin, Sam Neill, Jean Moreau, and Max von Sydow, all delivering great performances. In the end, as sorrows rise and joys fall, we are left surrounded by the choices we've made, carried forward by the hope that something remains until the end of the world. Thank you for watching, and for more underrated movies, be sure to subscribe to Underrated Cinema.